Hello guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I kid you not, right now it is April 11th, so it's showing me on my computer that it's 11 and 11:11 a.m. And here we go. Like, I just love when I feel like so often I don't even mean to, but I'll start a podcast and it'll be like 11:11 a.m. So I just wanted to share that with you guys in case it's like a number. It's such a big number that's coming through a lot right now. And I originally had another episode planned this week, and then I have not been feeling good. I've just been getting hit with this cold flu. But so the original episode that I had planned for this week, I had to push to next week. And I wanted to get a little episode out to you guys because I kept getting so many messages and downloads to come and share with you guys. So here I am. We're just going to see exactly what wants to come through today. But I wanted to get something out to you guys. So a little late than my normal Wednesday, but here we are. I'll probably talk a little bit more about this in the next episode, which is all about messages for the cycle breakers and the ones that are paving a new path. So stay tuned for next Wednesday's episode. I wanted to just share something here a little bit, that there's always, for every sort of scientific or thing that happens in our life, there's always a spiritual and energetic reason that comes with it. And like, for example, there's a very 3D thing that happens, right? My daughter's in daycare. People are getting sick. Very physical, scientific reason. I'm pregnant. My immune system might be a little off. But there's a very spiritual reason as to what I'm going through in this purge, this clearing, this upgrade, cold flu that I'm going through right now. And I'll share more about it in the next episode. But it came at a time when, right after, I had to really stand my ground and speak my truth. And it felt like I had to finally stand up for myself and all my past versions of myself and my inner child in, a family situation. And it was, after that, it's like, I lost my voice. I had this clearing. I got cold sore, which is like something I've gotten since I was a child. So very inner child, very past life, very persecution, right? So often when we lose our voice or we have something going on with our mouth or throats, there's something to do with like a clearing that can happen with a past life. And so I wanted to share that perspective with you all. But so many themes right now that are coming through are all about karmic balance. And I think there's like a Libra full moon coming up at some point. I'm kind of I forget when everything's happening, but there is a lot of themes around karmic balance and karmic balancing out, rewriting the story. And a really big message that has been coming through a lot is really unplugging from these old loops. So loops of the past, what has happened, what has been true in the past, and literally you can imagine yourself plugging into the new reality that you want to see, okay? And it takes that trust, it takes that strength to really unplug from the past, unplug from the loops, and step into this fresh new cycle that's available, because this is all available for you. And there's a new rule, there's something new integrating and coming into form, right? And when you really are able to recognize and integrate a soul lesson or a pattern or clear out an old contract, you're able to really move forward in your life. And so there's so much power in that recognition. When you recognize the lesson, when you recognize the pattern, and either you choose differently or it's there, you see it, then you're able to integrate it. You're able to have that awareness around it, and you're able to move forward. So there's a lot of clarity that is coming forward for a lot of you, and something soon is really about to integrate and click. And a lot of you are they've been showing me with the body is that there's a higher, faster octave of energy, a higher current that your body, your energy has been preparing for. And there's a lot of messages that have been coming through around, like, your capacity has shifted, your capacity is opened, right? What may have been true or possible in the past, like, you've grown, you've up leveled, you've evolved, and your energy field has expanded to be able to operate in a new system and operate from a new foundation. It's like a new computer system when you go through an upgrade, and then it's faster, right? And that's kind of what's happening. So there's a new operating system, that a new template and a new foundation that is really coming through. And it's a lot quicker than what you previously may have been used to. And it's because your capacity is expanding. And so there is this like point where our bodies, our minds, and our energy is like ready to go, but our bodies are kind of like recalibrating and kind of trying to get used to this new way of being, get used to this new template, this new version of yourself that is coming online and available. And it's very fast. The pace is quickening up, right? It's coming in a lot faster. So sometimes there is this little of a catch up that happens with the physical body, but your future self is right in front of you, okay? And it's time to leap into it. And so on Wednesday, April 16th, which is at 2 p.m., it's coming up next Wednesday, I'm hosting a group meditation event. It's an Akashic clearing and activation journey. So we will be going through a meditation journey to clear away old soul lessons, old patterns, old contracts, and step into a future self, step into a new cycle. And so I will be guiding us through an experience, and I will be channeling messages for the group. And at the end, we'll do a little Q&A. All you really have to do is show up. You don't have to say anything or do anything. You just need to open up and receive, and that's really it. If you can't make it live, there's going to be a replay, so you can really do this over and over as many times as you want. And I will also have I'm making so many changes, and there'll be a lot of these experiences and journeys and meditations and workshops that will be available on my website that you can purchase the replay. The links are in the show notes. And if you are, you go to join the event, you hit the book, I want to invite you right now is just to notice all the stories, the subtleties, the things that come up, maybe patterns or an awareness, almost being the observer as to what is coming up before the event. Because sometimes when you hit the book button or we're going to do a clearing, right? Sometimes there's subtle things that come up and pop into your awareness as you are like energetically preparing to release this. So there's so much that happens. There's like an orchestration that can happen behind the scenes before, say, you book a session with someone or a healing session, or before you go on a trip or a retreat, whatever it may be. Once you hit that button and that commitment, you know what I mean? Just watch how you're energetically preparing for that thing to happen. So I just invite you that if you book right now, or you're purchasing the replay, is just to notice like what's coming up between now and you actually doing the event, because I'm sure you might find some patterns or some lessons come up, or some old contracts that are coming up as a way to be released, to be aired and released and cleared. So I will invite you to do that, and you can get all the information in the show notes. But I wanted to share a few key messages that are coming through for the collective. And it was interesting because I held a group event in the beginning of April on the 4/4 portal. And there are so many similarities with the group, which often happens. And there's a lot of information that just wants to come through for you guys that was very much for what came through in that event. But, we have to really bridge the spiritual, the unmanifest, into the physical, okay? Into the action phase, into the manifest. So we want to take the unmanifest and bring it into the manifestation, right? Bring it into the reality, the physical reality. So there is a lot of themes around bridging the spiritual with the physical. And so there are ideas, there are downloads, there are dreams, there are, even for some of you, there's something circulating in your field that you have been energetically preparing for. Okay, so the ideas, the dreams, the manifestation practices that you do, the dreaming, the visualizations, they're really circulating in the field, right? In the energy field. But now it's time to bring them into the action phase. So we want to bring them down from the unmanifest, the spiritual, the untangible, and we want to bring them down into the physical, tangible reality. And that comes with the action phase. And so it is really this grounding the foundations of the divine plan. So actually on a bigger scale, they're showing me that there are seeds that you have planted long ago, either in different locations, different places, different, it's hard to explain, but different layers of time. This is a bit quantum, but they're showing me like different layers of time, and that you came to unlock certain things, unlock certain information, we'll say, certain aspects of your soul are ready to unlock. And perhaps some of you are drawn to certain locations to unlock these things. And it almost sees like this past version of you, or past life information that you go somewhere, or you have agreed upon at this time to unlock this information that has been on, there's like a hold that has been placed, is now opening, it's now unlocking. This is just what's coming through right now. And so there's seeds of the divine plan that are ready to sprout, okay? It's about grounding into the new foundations of the divine plan. And that's your mission, that's your purpose. That's why you came here, right? And so there's new templates, there's a new version of yourself, a new template, and a new foundation, and really stepping into the infinite realm of possibilities, okay? So it's easy to really dream, it's so easy to dream and spend time in that phase, and it's so fun and all of that. But the action piece is what we need to bring forward now. And the action piece, ironically, is often where we get into resistance around. It's where we have to work through the human stuff to take action on certain things. So for example, I actually shared this with the group. Say for a long time I've been wanting to do something, or put on an event, right? Okay, it's easy. I put on the event, I say yes, I put on the event, and then I have to actually show up, right? Oh shit, I have to show up to this. I actually have to take action on this. I can't hop off. I actually have to do this thing. And that's where the tricky part can sometimes come in. That's where we can feel resistance, or all the stories come up. So the dreaming phase is so easy to be in, because we just get to spend time dreaming and imagining and visualizing and feeling into that, and it's fun. But then we have to bring it forward into action. And that's where sometimes we can come up with the resistance towards it. And what's really happening is that it's because it's going to change you. Whatever you want to do, whatever you're being called to bring forward, because I'm seeing a lot of businesses ready to be launched, a lot of things that want to be launched. It's because there's some part of us that is afraid of change, okay? Even if it's something that's really good for us, really fun, there's a part of us that are afraid, right? And we've been so used to things being one way for a long time, and now that's all changing. So maybe there is a part of you that benefited from that maybe slower phase, or the dreaming phase, or the sluggish energy. And now it's like moving into action phase. The pace is changing, it's quickening, it's picking up. And so it's like about lovingly and gently letting that old self fall away, okay? Letting that old self shed, letting that part of you die. And now embracing this and stepping into this, because we need to work through the resistance towards doing the things that your soul wants to do. And resistance doesn't mean don't do it. It does not mean that. It means work through it, okay? And a lot of themes are happening right now is that there's a lot of old situations and ideas. Maybe something that you were trying, but it didn't really pan out. Something that you're going to do in the past. An idea from the past that is coming forward, and it's coming back around again because it's divine timing. Okay, you've been on the journey since you thought about this phase, right? You thought about this phase. You thought about this dream. You thought about this desire, you intended, you manifested, right? And then you went on a little journey. You went on a little journey so that you could be prepared and hold this energy and hold this frequency and hold this version of you. And I remember a couple years ago, I remember I was channeling for a friend, and I completely got out of the way. And the message that they shared with her, because she was wondering, like, why hasn't this happened yet? And that's like the big key thing that often so many of us ask, like, why hasn't this happened to the extent that I've wanted it to happen or seen for myself? And they shared with her, I'm just going to try to really remember this, but they shared with her that it couldn't have happened in that way because you wouldn't have been ready for it. Your body, your energy field would have been so taxed, your nervous system would have been taxed, so you would have just given up, you would have fried out, essentially. So that was a message that just has come to the surface in my mind right now, because it's true. It's like we go on through this phase so that we can hold that energy. Our nervous systems are prepared to hold that frequency. It's kind of like, when it comes to money and abundance, some people don't have, we have to work on the nervous system in order to be able to hold that frequency, right? So sometimes it's too much for our energy field. So we have to learn how to open up, to expand. Like I said in the beginning, it's like we have to expand our capacity and our nervous system to be able to hold that frequency, okay? To be able to hold that energy, to be able to take that on. Because there is such thing as too much for our energy systems, right? So old things are coming back around again. There's old business ideas. There may be something that you've been thinking about for a while that is coming back around again because it's time. It's divine timing. There's a lot of launch energy happening, and the pace is really shifting and picking up. And I think for a few years it's been quite slow and delays and all these different things. But there is an energy that is moving forward. There's an energy that is shifting. And a lot of you have been really preparing for this for a while. So sometimes our ideas that, come to us or come to you, whatever, they maybe couldn't happen then, but now they're coming back around again for you to take action on them. So don't give up on like the dreams from before, because I think for a lot of you, you're being called to kind of step into that. Another piece to this is we are moving beyond the limitations, okay? So we're moving beyond limitations to bring the divine plan into form. And when that comes, it's like we have to remove the limitations that our ego has. So we have to move beyond the limitations of time. We have to move beyond the limitations of age, of finances, into the limitless possibilities. So, sometimes there are, we'll say, not excuses, but there are things that we come up with as to why we can't do the things that we want to do. So age is a big thing. Time's a huge thing. All of these things is like we have to move beyond those limits, because we're stepping into limitless possibilities. And letting go of all the stories that we tell ourselves as to why we can't go forward with that thing that wants to come through for you. The future self, the future energy is right in front of you. And a lot of you have to honor that process of releasing the old and not shame yourself, not shame the resistance that you may be going through. It's like about honoring that, because when we get frustrated in some way, or we're really hanging on to that resistance, that creates tightness in our body. And what we want to do is we want to soften the body. And it's very simple, but it's like we just want to soften the body, exhale, and release, and allow love to create those spaces. We want to release through love, not this like hardness of like why, what, and shaming yourself in some way. But because we have to understand that there's probably a part of us that is afraid of change. Maybe there's a visibility wound. Maybe there's just a fear of what this could be. And everything is changing. It's bringing in change. And so if you have been working through that, I invite you to join this group event on the 16th, because we're going to really work through that and help that. But I want to finish this off for you guys with just reflecting on like what would be possible if you had no limitations or constraints. if you were to just sit in that place of limitless possibilities, and you can close your eyes, expand your heart field out into the infinite, and just dissolving any sort of limitations, imagine that. What would be possible if you didn't have any constraints, if you could live that life right now? There's no age, there's no finances, there's no, like, none of these things or constraints are in the way. Like, imagine and feeling into that, what would be possible. And what you really begin to do now is a new foundation within yourself, is the work that you're doing now, or what you're stepping into, or what you're creating now, that getting the ball rolling, is setting a new foundation for the next few weeks. It's like something that you're going to integrate over the next few weeks, especially come July. So I want you to really sit with that, because what you do now, the foundations that you're creating for yourself now, are really you're going to really be able to integrate. They're saying something over the next few weeks, and specifically by July, something could shift with that. So I hope that you guys all enjoyed this episode, and if you could comment, like, subscribe, share with a friend, leave a review. This all really helps to support the podcast and the channel. And I hope that this episode helped you, because it is so time to bring in the dreams into our reality, okay? Bring in the unmanifest into the manifest. We have to light ground it in. We have to ground these energies, our new selves, this energy, the ideas, into form. And that comes through aligned action. And why don't we allow ourselves to let it be so easy? And so I'm going to leave you with that, and I will see you in the next episode.